What if peace was the biggest lie of all? In Pluribus, the infected don't kill, fight, or destroy. They heal, connect, and help. But under that calm surface, it's about control. It's an exploration of what it means to be human. Today, we're talking about 5 moments that reveal how Pluribus hides this sense of control inside of peace, inside of compassion. And by the end of this video, you'll see why this isn't a story about a global infection. It's about how this peace is being used to erase free will. Welcome to The Real Spot. I'm Bobby Foster. Let's dive in. Starting with the most unexpected twist on zombies that we've ever seen. Instead of a typical zombie show, Vince Gilligan has flipped a bunch of post-apocalyptic tropes. The zombies aren't mindless, wanting to run around and kill and destroy everything. In Pluribus, it gives us this hive mind that's all-knowing, interconnected, and incapable of killing. The infected are the ones that actually want to fix the world. But what's the purpose of flipping this trope? People have been saying this is an allegory for AI and how it strips us of our uniqueness and creativity, and it's probably no coincidence that Carol is a creative writer herself. And while I think that allegory is there, I personally see a different one. As someone with a chronic illness, I experience the pandemic differently than most people. And what I see in this show is an allegory of our post-pandemic world where groupthink has taken over. Just like the hive acts like everything is okay even though they've all been infected with a virus, that's exactly what happens in real life with COVID. Nobody sees it as a problem. Everybody acts like it's fine. They'll tell you to join them because it feels wonderful not to care about the virus causing this massive damage, gaslighting everyone else in the process. We just want to help, Carol. That's my lived experience of the pandemic, and I'm seeing it reflected in this show. It's been an extremely isolating experience where people act like they care about you, but underneath, it's a sense of control. They say it's coming from a loving place, but is it? But when it comes to Carol, I'm not sure she can accept love even if it's genuine. By the way, if you love Pluribus but feel like you have no one to talk to about it, go ahead and join the Real Spot Discord. We love talking about shows and would love to have you a part of those conversations. Carol has a fatal flaw as a character, and that's that she can't receive love. She couldn't receive it from her fans, not even from Helen, and now she's rejecting it from an entire world that's trying to love her through this hive mind. But she does form somewhat of a connection with Zosha at the end of episode 2. And for the first time, she's being open to that. And although it hasn't been fully explored yet, it's shown that Carol hides the fact that she's a lesbian from the world.
Why Raban as a woman? My original version of him was a her, but I talked myself out of it, and we never told anyone. Helen and I were the only ones who knew.
But when the hive mind takes over, they're all aware of it, and they don't care, and they love her anyway. But she seems to be afraid of that acceptance and what it may mean. A lot of Carol's identity seems to be rooted in shame. Shame of who she is, shame of what she creates. She doesn't even like her writing. She's self-deprecating, and Pluribus shows us that no matter how many people love you, no matter how unconditional it is, unless you're in a space to receive it, you're going to keep self-sabotaging and remain isolated from everyone around you. But what would happen if Carol actually opens up and accepts that love that the hive is showing her? Would it actually be paradise like they're saying? Vince Gilligan said that he wanted Pluribus to be different from other post-apocalyptic stories out there. He wanted people to wonder, would I actually rather be a zombie? Could it be nice? Could it actually be paradise? Very reminiscent of the plot of Sinners with the vampires and Remick in there talking about how it'll be paradise to become a vampire. But in Pluribus, being infected means that you're happy, you're at peace, and you're connected. While being human in this universe means you're still faced with the potential of being isolated, defensive, and miserable. I say potentially because some of the other humans are having the time of their lives, but that's the point. They're all still human. They have a diversity of opinion, thought, and action, which is exactly what the hive mind's trying to take away. But Carol represents our world now, this place of being lonely and competitive and angry. Meanwhile, the hive is promising unity, but at what cost? Losing who you are, losing the ones around you, becoming just like everybody else.
But everything about you that's you, everything that is personal and individual and special, if we let this happen, you won't have that anymore.
And to me, unity is not about getting rid of our differences. It's about embracing and accepting and celebrating all of our differences. And in that way, this story can also be viewed through the lens of eugenics. The hive mind is the master race, and although they're not allowed to kill anything, they're going to do whatever they can do to make people exactly like them, even if it means incidentally killing almost 1 billion people, or in Carol's case, forcing her to become part of the hive whether she likes it or not.
Figure it out why.
So we can fix it. so you can join us.
So what happens when I say no?
Carol, once you understand how wonderful this is.
And this premise rightfully angers Carol. But what's Carol supposed to do when she can't express it? By the way, if you're enjoying this video, go ahead and leave a like and subscribe so more videos like this can show up on your feed. Every time Carol expresses her anger, millions of people die. The hive ends up seizing, and if they're doing something like driving or something else, it can lead to their death. But this is a world in which Carol just lost everything, and now she's being gaslit, and she has every right to be angry, yet she's now expected not to express it. That is definitely a social commentary. It mirrors the way that women are tone policed every day, how they're told not to be angry, not to be loud, not to take up any space. The hive tells Carol, we're only trying to help, but what they're actually saying is, be quiet and smile. Where have we seen that before? It's not realistic to believe that Carol will or even should suppress her anger. If anything, that's just going to cause more moments where she's going to blow up and cause the hive to seize up even more. What she needs is someone willing to listen to her anger and hear her out, and hopefully she gets that this season. But right now she's stuck suffering. But what if that suffering is actually helping her? Even with the world at her fingertips now, Carol refuses to seek comfort. She calls the hive slaves and rejects their gifts and everything they're trying to do for her, and insists on suffering, because I feel like in her pain it allows her to still feel human. Her suffering is the only thing that connects her to her past and the humans that used to exist. Contrasting that, you have Diabate, who's doing everything he can to have as much pleasure as possible, even in extremely unethical ways with his harem.
That's your idea of paradise? Being used like some sex doll? And I'm what, your pimp?
That is completely uncalled
You're
for.
completely uncalled for. The entire fucking world is ending, and instead of doing the right thing and trying to help me, you'd rather
Please,
run
the
around
last
sticking
thing
your...
these people need is you losing your temper.
He is in fact treating the hive as his underlings that are willing to do anything and everything for him. He's become king of this world, and he's taking advantage of it in every way possible. And in that way, you could say he lost his humanity as well to power and greed, which is yet another social commentary of this world and how unbalanced the wealth disparities become and what the uber wealthy do with all of their influence. But Carol calls him out on that in episode 2. And in that moment, she realizes she can't trust the hive, and she also can't trust the rest of the uninfected humans either. She's completely alone. But ironically enough, isn't being alone what she's been really wanting this whole time? Like they say, be careful what you wish for. By the end of Pluribus episode 1 and 2, the truth is clear. Peace without freedom isn't peace at all. Every solution that the hive offers comes at a cost. You lose your voice, your choices, your humanity. And Carol is the only one brave enough to stand up and say, no, something is wrong here, even if that means ending up completely alone. Because Pluribus isn't a warning about infection. It's a warning us about control disguised as being caring. Let me know what you think in the comments. And if you want to talk even more about it, go ahead and join the Real Spot Discord. Until next week, I'll see y'all.